Today I'm going to cover the topic of going from being a Navy reservist and crossing over permanently to active duty. So if that's something you've been thinking about or someone told you it was really easy to do, you're definitely going to want to watch this video, so stay tuned. So in the past few weeks, I've had 27 individuals, 27, ask me this question: how easy is the process going from Navy Reserves over permanently to active duty? Because out of those 27, 23 were told it was an easy process. Some were told by somebody at MEPS, the recruiters, other individuals that are currently serving in the Navy Reserves, those on social media and such. So I want to dispel some of those myths and give you guys the knowledge. I want to empower you on where to look to find this information. So if you were in the process right now of thinking, the only way I can get into the Navy is if I join the reserves because, the rating I want on active duty is currently locked up, so I can go this route. Same thing if I want to go reserves to FTS, whatever the reason may be. I want to show you where you can look because Big Navy actually puts this information out. And it's not sensitive information where you need a CAT card reader or that to receive the information. You just need to know where to look. And that website is NPC, Navy Personnel Command. Now, NPC, the website, it tells you everything you need to know about officer, enlisted, reserve, FTS, active duty, quotas, the NAV admins. It shows you everything you need to know. Like I said, it's just a matter of knowing where to look. So I want to show you this web page. So let's jump right in. So as you can see, NPC, it shows you everything that like I said, you need to know about the Navy. And I'm going to open up right here and show you guys for NPC, it actually has a section that says RC to AC. RC to AC is your reserve component to active component. And it gives you all the guidelines of what you need to know. There is an application process. It's just not a matter of saying, hey, I want to cross over, and you cross over. And I only say that because 2 individuals told me that this is what somebody had told them. You are going to go through what they call Seaway. Seaway is your career waypoint. And you are going to submit information. The 1306/7, it's an action request. You're going to have this filled out, and PRIMS. PRIMS is your PRT scores. So if you are just barely getting by with your PRT scores, you want to be competitive. That's why no matter what, you don't know, maybe today you may not be thinking about going active duty, but 2 years from now, you may be. So you always want to do your best in your career, regardless of how you may feel at the moment. And I'm speaking from experience. Last 3 evals. So what that means is, and I've seen this myself personally too many times, individuals come out of boot camp, NA school, return back home, they get to the NOSC, and they're like, after their in-doc or their first drill weekend, this is not what I was looking forward to. This is not the Navy I thought I signed up for. And they want to go active duty. So somebody tells them it's really easy, you just cross over. Okay, it's not, like I said, maybe easier for some ratings, but it's not an easy process. As far as evaluations, it's asking for 3 evaluations. You get 1 evaluation per year, so that means 3 years. 3 years of being in the reserves before you cross over. Now, I'm not saying there are not times where needs of the Navy may change and they may take somebody much sooner than this. Things do happen. But general rule, 3 years, because you need those 3 evaluations. So you're going to go back, you're going to have your 3 evaluations, you're also going to have your point capture. Your point capture, that's all your points towards retirement. Everything you accumulated for drills, for any type of courses you've done, ATs, any mobilizations, any other type of orders, funerals, things of that nature. And I have another video that I can link up above that'll discuss a little bit more for those of you that are not familiar with what I'm talking about. But all those points, that's going to create something called your year group. And your year group is something that is a determining factor here, not only with your rate and rating, but your year group is the other crucial part, is if you are able to cross over to active duty. So you're going to take all that information there, your evaluations, your point capture, your prim score with your PRT and that 1306/7 action request, along with your ASVAB scores. Now, the ASVAB scores, like it says here, orders if a member just came off of or you're currently on active duty. You go to the reserves, you realize this isn't for me, I want to go back to active duty. I've seen this happen quite often. So the member wants to go back. You're going to take your DD-214 along with those ASVAB scores, because you may have to, depending on what's available, you may have to change your rate. So NECs, that's another one, your Navy Enlisted Classification Code. That's basically like when you go to your C schools and things, you have a specialty. All those things are determining factors. You're going to send all this information off under Seaway, and hopefully, fingers crossed, you get accepted. Now, ratings, certain ratings such as MA, like I said, they are, from my personal experience, the individuals that I have helped the most. MA and LS crossover from reserves to active. But if you look down here, it actually, your MILPERS manual, 1306 TAC 1505, and that is updated. That's something you're going to want to look at because it actually gives you the information of going from reserve component to the active component. If you look right below that, you have something called your RC to AC and FTS quotas. So this is something that, I love when you guys ask me information, but what I love even more is empowering you guys. So by having this website, you can even go ahead and bookmark this page and check back because they update this. So this information is current. These are the quotas, the billets, the ratings that they are looking for currently. So let's click on that, show you guys what they're actually looking for at this moment in time. So these are the ratings that they're looking for right here. So for instance, you can see GM, ET, all these different ratings. Say for instance, you're an IS. If you're an IS and currently want to go active duty, there's no quotas, which means you can't put in the paperwork. So this is something, like I said, you want to keep an eye on if you're in a particular rating. If you're in a rating where there currently is no open quotas. However, what you can do while you're waiting is you can go on orders. You can go on mobilization orders, ADT orders, things of that nature. Because what that does is that builds your year group. And this can be confusing to many individuals, but if you look right here, see how it says year group. So for instance, if you are in AO, they are only currently looking for AOs in the year group 2017, 18, and 19. And they're only looking for E3 and E4. So if you're an E5 or an E6, there's no openings. Same thing if you happen to be, say, 2013 year group, you don't qualify. So this is what I'm saying, is by having the knowledge of where to look, you can keep an eye on what is available. And you can also look here over to the right. It'll say in rate or it says conversion, because it's a possibility that you can take whatever, for instance, aviation rating, and you may be able to convert to another aviation rating. So, like I said, this is a great website to look at. It also shows you if you want to cross over to FTS, which surprisingly, Corpsman is currently overmanned across the board, active duty, FTS, and Corpsman, but they are looking for a couple HMs, FTS. So if you're an E4 or an E5 with these particular year groups, it's possible that you can convert over. And then the very last one here, if you click on it, is your year group calculation, which is why it is so imperative that if you are thinking about crossing over and you're right out of boot camp and maybe you did your annual AT, that is it, nothing more. Okay, you need that active duty time to build that year group. So just briefly touching on what this document says here, you're looking at any possible, where it says regular Navy, that's if you were prior service, like I said, you left active duty, you went to the reserves and you want to go back, that is what your regular Navy service, your active component time is. If you're a reservist, boot camp, A school, nothing else, They're going to calculate any mobilizations, along with your ATs, any ADSW, your CANRAC recall, your recruiting duty. And what they're going to do is they are going to add it all up. There's a mathematical formula there, and this creates your year group from depending on what time you actually entered the service and then the active duty time you've accumulated. So that's why I'm saying that, even though you can't go right here, right now, you can go on mobilizations, you can do things to build that active duty time. So when that billet, that quota opens up on the active side, you can apply. And just because you're applying does not mean you're guaranteed this, which is why it's so important to have outstanding evaluations, your PRT scores, things of that nature. Make yourself competitive. If you are in a reserve status, and it's possible, depending on where you're stationed, what unit you're attached to, apply for an NEC, are determining factors for when you apply in Seaway for active duty. So I hope I dispelled some of the myths for you guys that, it's really an easy process to go, or that it's really a quick process to cross over from reserve to active, because that's not always the case. I've known some individuals where it has been easier or much quicker. Like I said, generally it's been MAs, and I've helped MAs all the way from E3 all the way up to E6. I actually know personally one of the individuals, the year he made MAC, made chief, had never been prior active duty, just had quite a bit of mobilizations, and he actually applied and he was picked up for active duty as a chief to cross over. So it is possible. Like I said, needs of the Navy. But this right here, I wanted to show you guys to give you some guidance. Like I said, I love when you ask me questions. I love when you're seeing, asking other Navy YouTubers questions, but the idea is I want to show you where Big Navy is putting this information out, so you know exactly where to look. So instead of someone giving you a yes or no answer, like I said, NPC, Navy Personnel Command. This here is a wealth of information. Anything you want to look at as far as RC to AC, look on this page. It'll tell you this information is updated periodically. Check back. If you're in a rating that's not currently showing, or if you are even willing to cross-rate into something else, if it has something with conversion, not where you have to cross over directly into like MA to MA, but maybe whatever your rating may be, and they ask you to convert over. I know, like for instance, I've had also quite a few questions about going from reserve CBs to FTS. Okay, FTS does not have any of the CB ratings. They are limited. It's 25 ratings, I believe 25 or 26 on the FTS side. It is very limited. So I know quite a few though that went from reserve CBs over to active. Now some of them, they were SW. At the time they crossed over, there was no availability for SW, but they crossed over to EO or BU. And this was a few years back. So there are the possibilities. So, just to give, like I said, you guys the information. If there's any other questions you guys have about this topic or anything else, feel free to comment down below. Send me an email. I love to hear from you guys. Please, if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing to my channel. I'm getting closer and closer to that 1,000 mark. So until the next video, please take care of yourself, be safe, and I hope you all have a great day. Bye.